the life I lived in my household. Yes, I was one of those young girls born in Ghana, West Africa, by a relatively young couple who wanted more in life, so decided to travel abroad, leaving me with my grandparents. Joining my mother in England was a great opportunity. I had the chance to visit my father, who lived in Germany, with my stepmother. But who was I? What did I really want for myself? Was I able to really and seriously share my future plans with my primary caregivers? Was my faith and future ambitions in line with what my parents wanted for me? All these were over 32 years ago. Fast forward 2026, a number of young people, probably in this room and in our communities, are in the same situation I was in back in the early 90s in London. For the teens and young people in this room, what does it mean to you to have Jesus on? Are you playing church like Shirley Caesar would say? Or are you really having a one-on-one relationship with God? Are you taking a sixth form where he taught himself further maths? Because the sixth form school he attended did not offer further maths, but he needed further maths for part of his future career, so he taught himself further maths and got an A. Wow. He wanted to be a banker. After graduating with first class in econometrics, he landed a grad scheme job with a popular tech giant in the city of London. But guess what? He packed it all in less than a year. He moved back to Nottingham to continue to win souls for Christ. And yes, my brother was not a drug dealer. My brother was not in a gang. My brother was a God-fearing man, the Students' Christian Union Secretary for Nottingham University. But he had his own problems. He was also a prayer and Bible study leader for the Bethnal Green branch of the Hillsong Church, and one of the leaders for the Hillsong Colour Conference. He ended his life a couple of days after the 2017 Colour Conference in London. The youth in Hillsong practically took over Michael's funeral and stayed at the City of London cemetery praying and singing until they were literally ushered out of the cemetery for the security staff to lock up. Ladies and gentlemen, as a therapeutic foster carer, social work manager that manages a team of social workers and pathway advisors that look after some of the most traumatized young people in our community, I see, I hear, and I've lost count of the number of strategy meetings I have shared involving young people whose adverse childhood experiences have led them to become victims of the gun culture, county lines, drug and alcohol dependencies, sexual and criminal exploitation. My eldest daughter is also a social worker for my sins, and she's a safeguarding lead at what we call the Secure Training Unit Center, which is next to the Wood Hill Prison here in Milton Keynes. As a parent, I did not want her because she's thriving and making positive impact in the young people she supports, to the point where Ofsted commended her for her work due to the challenges she was facing by people who were not ready to change their practice. Ladies and gentlemen, can you imagine how just over 32 years, me being that teenager in East London, riding my bicycle to college, to work, yes, my first job was a pot washer in Chingford, shopping whilst carrying knife. Yes, it is not a badge of honor. I'm not proud of it, but I have to say it. I carry knife with me everywhere I go in London due to the knife crimes in London. Currently, as a Thames Valley Independent Advisory Board member, that spends time with the police, scrutinizing their practice, especially in the area of stop and search, as well as investigations into homicides, including fatal knife crimes. I'm grateful to God and my mother's prayers for who I have become and still becoming. I have found my calling. Yeah, it can be controversial within Christianity. However, in my opinion, the only way we can affect change, real change in our communities and in the lives of our future generations, is not to be an observer, playing it safe, or leaving it for others to do. I have decided, with the Almighty God's blessings, to go into politics, having been introduced to it by a very good friend of mine 13 years ago. He's a very popular Conservative Party politician. I felt at that time politics was not for me. However, running a charity and a support service in Milton Keynes since 2007, I realized I have to be at those decision tables to affect real change. Hence my decision to stand as a candidate for the Labour Party here in Milton Keynes. On the 7th of May, there is an all-out elections, and we are counting on your vote. I love Milton Keynes to bits. When I finished college in London, I did not even wait for my results. I just came to Milton Keynes, and Milton Keynes has been my home. We will, as candidates, and hopefully once we win, we will actively work with both adults and the young people to really find out what our young people want and need, to ensure any activities and services commissioned for the next generation is not a mere tick box exercise, but rather a service that will change the status quo and prevent the revolving door syndrome. Services that will ensure Black and ethnic minorities, or should I say the global majority, will never be discriminated or alienated against. I purposely left a number of cliffhangers in my speech because I know responses to my questions will be based on a number of factors. The same way solutions to issues in our communities is not one size fits all. We have to be intentional. We have to be person-centered and ensure the needs of the people we want to support are the center of everything we do. Parents and primary caregivers, are we really listening to our children and supporting them to achieve their positive life choices? Or are we trying to get them to live the lives we once wanted to live? Are we trying to get them to become doctors, lawyers, accountants, and other professions we once believed provide financial freedom and command respect in our communities? And please don't get me wrong, those professions are still very relevant. But is that what your wards wanted to do? Or could they, with your support, become professions like project managers, social workers, IT professionals, positive social media influencers, media personalities, and many more? I remember when my brother was troubled and wouldn't talk to any of us. He wouldn't even speak to his father, the Reverend Minister, because it got to a point, it was all about the Bible and the prayers. And it's all good. What about the practical aspects? My brother will come to me, and he's a very popular Conservative Party politician. I felt at that time politics was not for me. However, running a charity and a support service in Milton Keynes since 2007, I realized I have to be at those decision tables to affect real change. Hence my decision to stand as a candidate for the Labour Party here in Milton Keynes. On the 7th of May, there is an all-out elections, and we are counting on your votes. I'm standing at Watling Ward, which include White House, Crown Hill, Grange Farm, Medbourne, Shenley Brook End, Shenley Wood, Oak Hill, and Loughton. My beautiful sister Justin Messant is over here. Justin, would you like to stand for us? Justin Messant is here with me, and she is standing at the Walton Ward, which covers Brownswood, Caldecott, Kent Hill, Old Farm Park, Walnut Tree, Walton Park, and Government Gate. And I do count, we're all counting on your votes. I love Milton Keynes to this. When I finished college in London, I did not even wait for my results. And I just came to Milton Keynes, and Milton Keynes has been my home. Amen. We will, as candidates, and hopefully once we win, we will actively work with both adults and the young people to meet seriously. And when his father was like, Michael, you need to get back to work, you need to do this, you need to do that. And then he said, but I've done what you wanted me to do. Have I not got first class in a degree? And I thought, wow. So when he died, I made a copy of that graduation certificate and I put it in that coffin. Because that was his greatest achievement as far as his parents or his father was concerned. That is why I'm asking parents, primary caregivers, are we trying to live through our children? Are we supporting our children to be who they want to become? We need to think about that very carefully. And like our MC said, I had a lot to talk about. Not all of them will sit well with you, but I hope that the lesson that I've said, you may be able to take one or two from it. And then moving forward, you could sit down with your children one-on-one and ask them what they really want. And through that, you can support them. I've always said that we live in this part of the world where, according to Maslow hierarchy, we are not fighting for just air, food, water, and health. We are in a part of the world where we can honestly say that we can achieve all the levels of Maslow hierarchy of needs. When you look at the bottom of it, it's a triangle. The physiological, like I said, is the need for air, food, water, and health. When you move up, is safety. Is the need for safety, shelter, and stability. And then the next level is social. The need for love, belonging, and inclusion. Do we really love our children? What does love mean? As a parent from Africa, we do this tough love, don't we? Do the children understand it? Are we explaining to them, or we are still saying children are seen and not heard? Just do what I say and not as I do. We need to think about that. The next level of Maslow hierarchy is the need for self-esteem, power, control, and recognition. And the very top, it talks about self-actualization, the need for development, creativity, and growth. Are we empowering our youngsters to be creative, to be agents of their own, and to support them to grow so that one day, when you and I are not there, will our children survive? We need to ask ourselves. We need to make sure that with the help of the Almighty God, we are bringing these children up in a way that they will enjoy their home and not be spending too much time outside. Papa,